Right, as you can see, the LS1 is out of the Apache. It's actually pretty good condition down the bottom end. I've got all the heads and that all sitting over here. I've got them on our trade me to get rid of them. All the bores and that, there's no scoring, no pitting, no major marks, scratching or anything. So I think I'm going to leave the bottom end well enough alone for now. Leave it all absolutely stock. I've heard it going and it works. Having troubles getting the pulley off, the front pulley. I have tried an extension bar and an extension bar on that, out to about 1 metre long, and it would not budge. Tried a rattle gun. I've tried soaking it for the last week. Obviously I need to get into there to get the camshaft out, and once the camshaft's out, we can get into doing the camshaft. So in light of that, I had this little thing here made up from the engineering shop, which bolts on instead of the flex plate. So I don't like the idea of trying to hold the flex plate or put a screwdriver between the prongs to hold the flex plate. So just 4 bolts on in place of the flex plate. Nice big extension. It's either going to come around and rest on the edge of the starter or rest up on that there, depending on which way it turns. So yeah, like that. So that'll lock into one of 2 places, and then I can put some real power onto that nut and see what the hell happens, and hopefully we can get it out. Got the Brian Tooley trunnion upgrades there, so that's just waiting to be done as well. I have started doing the one-piece door conversion for the windows. I had done it partially previously, but I've now removed the inner bump stop door support bit there, and that's part way along from being done as well. So I just now mount the tracks in here. I did have this template initially from Grimm's, and I think it was Black somebody or other, Black Diesel, of making a one-piece glass, and their glass is pretty close to the template that you get from the specialty kit. So we'll get some glass made for those afterwards as well. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, so I'm sniffing. My engineer's come out and he just wants me to put a couple of extra gussets on my engine mounts, so just some triangulations in there to help tighten it all, rather than just relying on the one back plate back here, which is neither here nor there. So as you can see, I've cut up some little triangles to do on my gussets, and then he wants the same thing on the gearbox support. So I've cut up some triangular gussets which will sit in there just to give it a bit of extra strength and try and stop any flex out of the 2 or 3 mil piece of RHS that we've got running the length, and that should keep him happy. And over here, somebody wanted to see my fuel tank from the back side, so unfortunately I haven't got the well side on. That's the Mustang, was it 66, 68 tank from Tank Sync, sitting in the chassis rail. You can see the install on that, but someone just wanted to see the height through the chassis rails, so hopefully that'll keep him happy. And obviously, yeah, the engine bay's out, so we're going to get in soon, sand all that down, paint it, paint the chassis rails again, paint all the engine mounts and bits and pieces that I've finished, painting all the engine mounts as well, and then tidy up all that wiring and run it into some cabling and sheathing up through the front, and it's all done. Oh, and I just got the bung, so I'm going to put a bung on my fuel pipe so I can get rid of this, and then that way if I do happen to pressurise the system while I'm doing the wiring and doing any testing of the rest of the electricals, fuel doesn't come squirting out of the end of that. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm going to also remake my power steering pipes, remake my power steering pipes through there, because now that I've clocked all that, I've had to bend and twist, and both of them were actually damaged, and I just wasn't happy, so we might as well get those remade while we're at it. But other than that, Haven't really done a hell of a lot. Been busy with work and home, and so hopefully we'll get a bit more going on in the next month, and we'll have some more updates for you all.